I basically left home at the age of 17. I was on the road so much that I loved my mother and father, but I wasn't that close to them. I'd see them probably once a year. And then I moved to America later on, and I'd hardly see them. But I would call them, but I was never that close. The English parents in those days were kind of distant. My mother wasn't. My father was. Well, Richard, tell me, what have you been doing? I mean, this guitar business, what exactly do you mean? And I would have to go, and I would be frightened of him, because I'd be like, I have to explain this in such a scholarly way, and that's not going to happen.
When did your dad pass away?
2001.
So he got to see your whole career, really?
Yeah, he did.
Every element he saw.
He came to the Albert Hall when we did the orchestra thing, Deep Purple in the orchestra. He loved that. I think then he suddenly realized, oh, I think my son's doing something here. 5,000 people and there's an orchestra.
For him, that would have been,
Yeah.
That's what he was, because those players were from his era too.
That's right.
Yeah.
So but he was a jazz. He loved people like Frank Sinatra. So he couldn't understand people like Elvis Presley, and he used to say, I can't understand the words. It don't make any sense. And of course, one of my favorite songs ever was White Shade of Pale. And when he heard that, he said, what the hell does that mean? If you listen to the lyrics, they don't make any sense. And that to him was a no-no. A song had to make sense. And I said, Dad, that's not, this is all about it's like abstract painting, 16 Vestal Virgins going to the coast. You make up your own, kind of lyrics, and you make up your own fantasies and your own horizons, the landscape. You also take a lot of drugs too, which, was out of the question. And I wasn't taking drugs, and I don't think my dad would have ever taken a drug. He didn't even drink. He still corrected me in a lot of areas. For instance, when I came to Germany with Jerry Lee Lewis at the age of 18, and all of a sudden I loved everything about Germany. And I said, I'm going to learn German language. And his comment was, well, if you're going to learn German, you've got to learn English first. I went, oh, thanks a lot, Dad. Great inspiration there, because he was everything had to be correct, I'm not speaking English correctly enough to know about how to learn another language. That was his connection.
How old was you? What did your dad do?
I was 18.
What did your dad do
during the war? He was a sergeant major.
He wouldn't be too keen on that German thing either, would
he? He always said the Germans were very much like the English. And he loved the French too, because he was based in France and Scotland. But being a sergeant, everything had to be correct, So I grew up with that. And my mother was more a mush. She was like, hey, his name was Louis. She's like, Louis, leave him alone, No, Violet, that was her name. He has to learn, if he's going to learn the guitar, if he's going to learn jazz, he has to do it properly.